My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are here for the February 2018 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are talking about printing the contact usage info for a client or matter. It's something that eludes many people. And Mary Jo will take that topic, and I am going to talk about merging contacts. And without any further ado, I'm going to press the series of magical buttons that will take me out of here, get me into PracticeMaster, and allow Mary Jo to talk to you about printing the contact usage info from PracticeMaster.
Okay. You know, Paul, I think every time you say that, I've heard you say it, I don't know how many hundreds of times about the Doritos and Fritos, and I just want to put a handful in my mouth and come on crunching.
Well, maybe you should do that.
I just want to do it, just because, but I won't. Not today.
I want to learn Japanese so that when somebody joins the meeting, we can all be talking Japanese, and they'll think they're in the wrong place, but I've never done that either.
Okay. Well, my topic is relatively short. So what I'm going to talk about is when we are looking at contacts, over on this little contact usage tab, we have this great way to see all of the different contacts or clients that this contact is, used on by using the client summary, or we can see the files that, any, calendar or fee file or any of those things that contact is used on, any record that it's in. So we have this great way to see these things, but we don't have a way from here to print it. So a lot of people are always asking me, how do I print this list? I want to just get this. And there's, if we hit print record, it prints the one that we're on. And of course, we know we get all of the fields, everything there. But if you go back to the contact tab, right over here, over in our reports, we have the contact usage report. And if we go ahead and we print that, it will print all of the relevant information that it has on that particular client that it's used on, or whatever that is. So we get the file, we get any fields it's in, the client ID, the client name, description, and any calendar journal description that might be out there. Now, the one downside of this report is it is not modifiable. I can't go in there and change it and say I want to add more information to it, or I want to take information off. But it does give me the total number of records. It gives me all the information that it can pull on each of the ways that that particular contact is used. So we also have the calendar contact usage. So if you just wanted to break out just the calendar, we can see the records that that particular contact was used in the calendar, which we don't have. And this is the calendar here, any record that it was tied to in a calendar, and then again in a journal. And where I'm talking about that is if you've ever noticed on a calendar record or journal record, down here at the bottom of the screen, let's just go do a new record here. There's a place to put a contact. So whether or not you're relating it to a client and a contact, or maybe this person wasn't a client yet, so you wanted to put it on a calendar, so you're putting it on, you're linking that contact to it, that's the calendar contact information that we're talking about when it's the calendar usage. What calendar records is this client filled in, or this contact filled in on for these calendar records? Same thing with the journal. If we were looking at a journal record for a particular matter, I'm just going to go out to Matter Manager, and we'll just pick a journal record here. So if we were doing a new journal record, same thing. We can tie contacts to journal records. So if you're saving an email, or you're doing anything that you're journaling, you also have that ability to tag a contact. Now, I don't usually have people, too many instances where if I have a client, I don't really need to tag a contact to it. But if that person is not a client and I want to make sure it shows up on their calendar, they're tagged to it, that's when I can use that contact, and that's the best use of that. So that's what that's talking about when we go into a particular contact and we're going to that usage. Let me get out of calendar. We'll go back into the contact file. And so again, just back out here on the contact file, over here underneath reports, no matter what contact I'm in, we can pick a different one. I don't know if there's some in here that have more information. But again, we have those contact usage reports. So whoops, I got to get out of the contact. There we go. So there we have it. So contact usage on this one, there aren't any. But that's where you can get that. So it's kind of hidden out here. We say it's hidden. Sometimes your report tab might be closed, but if you come over here in that quick clicks and open it, it's right in there hidden. So, Paul?
Awesome. Now, people always talk about relating things to matters. In other words, this calendar item goes with this matter. This journal record goes with this matter. Contacts go with matters as well, so the contact usage is great for that, but they often don't think about the fact that they can then go to the contact file, because they're used to going to the client file and saying, who's tied to this? What journal records are tied to this matter? Who's tied to this matter? But they rarely think about going to the contact file and saying, who is this person tied to? And it's flipping the whole relationship on its ear and looking at it backwards. You may be talking to an adjuster on the phone and think to yourself, you know, he's the adjuster on several matters we have, and I think I have a question about a different matter. That's where that would come in handy, to be able to see what other matters that particular person is tied to. Very useful information. Thanks, Mary Jo. Now, I'm going to talk a little more about contacts, but what to do when you have more than one that really needs to be merged. So I'm going to go out to the contact list, and I'm going to duplicate Mary Jo. And I'm just going to do it for the purposes of demonstrating what to do when you have two records that are identical and need to be merged. So if I go to File, Replicate, and I'll just create another Mary Jo record, and I'm going to call it Boyd, what do we have? Boyd Mary. Every once in a while somebody calls her Mary. She's really Mary Jo. We're going to make a record where she's called Mary. Now, in this record, I'm going to put in some home address info. Oops, yeah, I know. I always get the system mad at me when I forget and hit tab in the wrong place. Okay, so she's got an address here. She's got a home phone number. And these things are different than the other Mary Jo, or the other Mary Jo Boyd. That record, come on. That record does not have this home address information. Someone has written workflows on the contact file, and they are taking way too long to execute. Move that out of the way. Come on. Here we go. Yeah. So I want to save that. And so now if I go here to the list, I will see two obviously duplicated entries, but they've got slightly different names. One has the correct address, one has a correct phone number, another might have a correct cell phone number. Now, if I could just delete one of them, the one that's got the most right information, and fill it in with the rest of the information, that would be great, but I can't. Why can't I? Well, if this Mary Jo Boyd is assigned to two matters, and this other Mary Boyd is assigned to four other matters, and maybe this Mary Jo Boyd is tagged to a couple calendar entries, but the other Mary Jo Boyd is tagged to other calendar entries. If I were to delete one of them, I would be losing that connection between those calendar entries, between those matters, between those journal entries. I can't just delete a contact that's tied to things. Okay. I can't, even if I could, only one of these was tied to something and the other one was not tied to anything, it still is very difficult to go back and forth and try and figure out what information's right, get it in the right place, and then delete it. On top of that, however, is the problem that when I get this one record that I've created out of these two, when I've merged them together, I then have to worry about all the records that were assigned to the one that I got rid of, and it just won't let me delete them until there aren't any records tagged to that contact. And so that's not a workable solution. So the way to do this is to go into, and I can never remember if it's maintenance or utilities, maintenance, renumber, which is weird because you're not renumbering anything, and merge contacts. This takes us into a screen and it prompts us to back up. Takes us into a screen where we can specify the first contact, and we'll pull up Mary, and the second contact, and we'll pull up Mary Jo. It then shows us, and it's defaulting to different fields, but we'll look at all these options. It shows us all the fields that have values that differ. For instance, in this one, it's Mary Jo. I want to keep that because that's her real name. It's not Mary Boyd, it's Mary Jo. Here we've got a full name of Mary Boyd and a full name of Mary Jo Boyd. I want to keep Mary Jo. Here we have all the correct information for her home address. I want that to stay. I want these to be the fields that are pulled in. But I don't want the first name to be Mary. I want it to be Mary Jo. I want the last contact date to be this one. And I want the long full name to be Mary Jo Boyd, which is actually, I don't want it to be Mary Boyd, so I'm just going to make it nothing. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the fields that differ between these two records. I am deciding by clicking on the appropriate column which bits of data I want to keep on a one-by-one basis. I want any town. I don't want any town. I want any town. I don't want any town. It's really on a line-by-line basis. I'm saying keep this, keep this, keep this, keep this, keep this, keep this, keep that. Once I've done that, all I have to do is hit merge. It says, are you sure you want to make this change? I guess so. It goes out, merges the two records, and finds everybody that was assigned to the record that it's going to get rid of, moves them over to the record that it's keeping, and everything is happy. Everything is still connected. I've got a merged record, and I have a situation where everything that pointed to both of those records before now points to the merged record. The data retains its integrity. The information for Mary Jo's record has the exact correct stuff and nothing extra, nothing that's wrong. And now I have one contact for Mary Jo Boyd. Now, one of the first questions people often ask me is, how do I merge three together? Well, you start by merging two together, and then you take the merged record and merge it with the other. It's a two-off sort of thing. There is no situation in merge contacts where you can pull up one, two, and then a third contact. It's a two at a time sort of thing. So if you've got three or more records that are all for the same person, it's a multi-step process. It's just a matter of going through. Now, a couple of things you need to look out for. You'll notice when we go into merge contacts, it's an either or situation. It's either this address one or this address one. Okay? Stick with me for a second because I'm going to re-replicate that record. I'm going to make it Boyd Mary again. And I'm going to go down to user group, and I'm going to say that Ron wants this to sync with his phone. At many firms where we install, we change the label for this field to phone sync, because putting your name in here, your username, your login name, your PracticeMaster login name, means that this will, if you've got Outlook syncing turned on, this will sync with your phone. And so if we look at the other Mary Jo, or the other Mary Boyd, whichever one, and we say, well, this one is going to sync with Jan. Come on. Sorry. We're in sample data, and somebody's been in here playing with workflows on contacts. And so now we have some information that, or some lag when we save something. So that's the one that's Ron. And this is the other one. And we're going to say this, the person that cares about this one is Jen. I got the name wrong. Oops, Jen. Okay. So what I've done is I've created a situation where there are two Mary Jo, or a Mary Boyd and a Mary Jo Boyd. Most of the information is the same, but this one field is different. It's Jen here, and it's Ron here. Now, why does that matter? I'll show you. Maintenance, renumber, merge contacts. Okay, there's our two contacts. Now we're only looking at differing fields here. So, this is Mary Boyd here, and it should really probably be Mary. We want Mary Jo as her name. We want Mary Jo Boyd. We want Mary Jo. We want all these fields. What do we want here? We want both of them. Why? Well, Ron was merging, was syncing with one record. Jen was syncing with another. So this record here is going to appear on Jen's Outlook. This record here is going to appear in Ron's Outlook. If I merely change this to be Ron, then this one's gone without Jen syncing to it. And now all of a sudden, what's going to happen? Jen's got this incorrect information, or should I say Ron's got this incorrect information. And if I don't change it to where Ron and Jen both appear on that line, the incorrect information is going to come right back in on an Outlook sync. So it's important to understand that this particular field needs to be merged, not decide on this or that. It's both. So what do? You go ahead and you pick one to merge, and you just have to make a mental note that Ron was also in there. So we're going to go ahead and merge these. It's going to finish. It gave me that message about unable to load record because I was on the one that we got rid of. And now I just have to remember to go back in and put Ron in here. Okay, very important, because if you don't take that into account when you're merging records, you're going to open up a whole new can of worms where this is no longer syncing with the right people's phones, or it's coming back in incorrect, and you just can't get rid of it because every time you merge it, Ron's gone. So Ron's Outlook says, well, I got this and I need to merge it with the PracticeMaster, and pulls it right back in. So be careful about this one field. Most everything else is taken care of in the fact that merge contacts takes care of everything except this field, because merge contacts isn't going to pull them together. It's going to make you choose, and then you're going to have to go back in and fix it. Hope I didn't make that muddier by explaining that, but that's a very important consideration when you're merging contacts. Okay, that's it. Next month, we're talking about strange characters in journaled emails or snapshots. If you have a snapshot of the journal or a journal of an email, the record itself, if there's a setting set wrong, it's possible you're going to get these strange characters. And so Mary Jo's going to examine that and look at how we can make sure that we don't have these weird characters coming in from the emails that we pull into PracticeMaster. And I'm going to take a look at the All Users checkbox that can take a column layout or a filter or a quick view, a number of different things, and populate them out to every user instead of making it just for the user that's creating them. At this point, we have a very important announcement that we've been saving for the end. Version 16, if you are still on version 16, that version is being sunsetted on June 1st of 2018. June 1st of 2018, you will no longer be able to get support for version 16. Very quickly after that, you will no longer be able to trade up from it without rebuying the software. So if you're on version 16, whether you're on maintenance or not, if you're on maintenance and you just haven't updated the software, well, it's time to update. If you're not on maintenance and you want to protect your investment and not lose the ability to get support or update at a later date, you need to update before it gets sunsetted. So mark your calendars, June 1st. If you're on version 16, you need to have that taken care of, or else you'll run into problems down the line. And of course, at the end of every live broadcast from Attorney Computer Systems, we like to go into attorneycomputersystems.com, and of course, you need to pay attention to the emphasis on that last S in the word systems, because without it, you won't get to the right place. Click on the word videos up in the menu, and you will see every video title that we have that we produce on a monthly basis. We have our live events, including the 3 virtual user group meetings, Tabs, PracticeMaster, and World Docs, plus our Coffee Pot webinars that I do once a month. These, of course, are our virtual user groups. This is me working with and interviewing people from other companies that have extra products that provide enhanced and added on value to PracticeMaster or Tabs or World Docs. And we also have our pre-recorded videos. Mary Jo records 3 e-bites every month, one on Tabs, one on PracticeMaster, one on World Docs. These are little 3-4 minute videos where we take something really cool that we can explain very quickly and concisely, and we put a video out about it. The longer format Paul and Mary Jo show is pretty much the same thing, but it's for topics that are more broad and require a little extra time to explain. We produce one of these each month, and so we'll take a topic that is, as I said, more broad or takes longer time, and we'll take 10 or 15 or sometimes 20 minutes to go into great detail about that particular item. If you'll click on any of the more info buttons, if you're in one of our live events, you'll see registration info for the next event, including 2 links that are identical to sign up. One has the full link. Some people don't like to click on a link without seeing where it's going to take them. This link takes you to the same place, and so we'll describe exactly what we're doing in that particular live event. And then as you scroll down, you will find recorded versions of every one that we've done in the past. Not this one, because this is the one you're listening to right now, so it's currently in post-production. But that'll be out in anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks, depending on our production schedule at that point in time. But as you scroll down, you'll find inline recorded videos of everything else we've ever done. You can also, of course, search and go straight to something that's relevant to what you're looking for. So if I type email, I'll have a short list of email-related topics, or I can click View All Results or hit Enter, and I'll be taken to a broader list that gives me more of a description. So please, these things are out there and available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Please take advantage of them. That's what we did them for. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month, and we will see you in March. Bye-bye.